lives can support. Okay. All right. Oh, do I not have a pen? That's super annoying. So to people watching in the future, this is a test that I'm running to be able to do lives in the future and kind of have an idea of how it goes with the system. We have Starlink and we're in Alaska, so I'm not really sure how this is going to go as far as the internet support is concerned. I'm going to see if my wife can check on the connection, but today we're going to be building a workbench, and I wanted to just do a better job at documenting, but I don't want to be dealing with files that are like just large, right? So I'm not even sure if this is on correctly. I mean, obviously we have 62 subscribers. I'm not exactly expecting an audience in this, but we need to make a workbench, and this is an easy way to keep things going. So, but like I said, this is more so fulfilling the role of being a test so that I can see what things fall apart on me, what things work, whether or not the Starlink is stable enough to support lives, and to get an idea of how this system works. So if we get 0 views, that's fine. Just trying to kind of make sure I understand how the live function works. But yeah, so I have to figure out how I want to go about making this desk. So I'm going to drop this so my framing is a little better. Like I said, we're still learning all this. So I figure if we do end up having anybody hop on, we can talk. So that'd be cool. That would be chill. So I think we're gonna go ahead and just make the frame. So we have to do hey, hello first person. This is a test stream, so it is not going to be exceedingly exciting. So whatever that's worth. I don't know if there's a chat function. If there is, saying anything. That's more likely. So cool. But anyway, this is basically hey, sweet. So it does work. I cannot. Oh, there we go. That's pretty cool. Hello. Hello, first and second and third commenters. We are building a workbench, or trying to. I'm not a particularly good woodworker, but this was easier than documenting and then dealing with hours of footage to edit back later for stuff that isn't particularly relevant to the actual channel, I suppose. We are talking about whatever you want to talk about. This is an easier way for me to document what I'm working on rather than dealing with hours of footage. We're making a workbench for rifle assembly, basically. So there won't be guns in this video because of YouTube's live policies, which are reasonable enough. But that's what we're doing. So I'm getting a plan together on how I'm going to go about the bench. But we're in Alaska and we're fairly remote and use Starlink. So this is really a test on the system to see how the lives go, to see if the transmission's clear, to see if everything comes through the way that I'm hoping it does. No idea how that's all going to go, and it seemed like a bad idea to like have a live that was planned be the first one, because then we have an untested system as far as our internet support is concerned, going with expectation of like an actual thing we want to do, where this is we're not off the grid. We are relatively so if you think about it like a really nice cabin, then that's probably a fair way to think about it. If you think of it like a house, it wouldn't be like a lower 48 house. So anyway, yeah, so this is basically just making sure that everything works before we try to do like intentional lives, and it gives us content on the back end, which is cool. So not a woodworker. I would not take anything I'm going to do with tools today and then run with that. I would highly recommend against that. There's what is in the safe behind you? There is paper in there, and there are 3 upper receivers in there. So I think if I remember correctly, I have my upper receiver that was originally on my first rifle, like my first like real rifle, if you will, which has a free float rail with it that's sheared on the barrel nut. And so that is a piece that I have for demonstration later. And then we have a Daniel Defense DDM4 S2W upper in there, and then a couple of prototypes. So I do not hunt. I have a friend that is Revolutionary War. Let's not talk about Revolutionary War. That would be a terrible idea. Unless it was absolutely necessary, that would not be very fun. So no, I don't hunt currently. I'd like to hunt. I mean, I do small game hunting and stuff, but I don't like hunt in a way that you would like actually want to talk about. I have friends that hunt, and I'd like to get into it. It's just not something I've done up until now. I came to Alaska with the army, so I asked the army to send me somewhere warm with snakes, and they sent me to Alaska, which is should be expected. But yeah, so I am. This is actually pretty cool. Let's see. I don't know how the chat function works. I'm trying to make sure I'm like actually on the thing. Oh, you people are sweet. I appreciate that. Bye. That's funny. Is that there's something growing on your face? I think it's hair. Yeah, it's hair. That's my beard. That's where it grows. I let it go, and then it happened to grow on my face predominantly, and some of my neck. So that's where beards tend to grow. Let's see. So my sawhorses are outside, which is less than ideal. They are frozen into some ice, and I don't want to damage them trying to get them out. So I should have gotten them out before breakup started, but we had a weird like temperature swing where it was like 40 degrees for like a day, and that's beardy sexy. Oh, that's funny. Okay, I am quite married, so my wife probably wouldn't appreciate that. Oh, speaking of which, it's our 9-year anniversary today. For our first anniversary, we have two because military life. Um, but yeah, so that's fun. Let's see. So I'm trying to come up with a plan on how I want to go about putting the initial legs together. I'm probably going to build the front and the back face, and then put them together. Put this basically the adjoining structure on the top. Drop the plywood top on, and then screw it in place, and then add bracing around the side. I think that's probably how I'm going to go about it. So I'm not sure how to manage the camera with the work. I might kill it before the live, that is, before I actually start the physical building of the bench. And then once I get set up, I'll probably start another live to kind of keep that all going. Hey, thank you, love. Happy anniversary. So that's probably how we'll do it. But yeah, so I think I'm going to build the front, or really the back, 2 legs as a frame, then the front frame, and then I will go through and join those things together. I think that's a reasonable way to go for it. So I need a measurement for this. We're going to go 37 inches for the top of the bench. I'm going to be joining two 2x4s together to get a thicker leg on the back side of the bench. So one of those is going to need to come up 3.5 inches shorter. So that'll be a 37 and a, what is that going to be? Who could do math faster than me of the 4 people that are here? Who all is here? That's kind of cool. I appreciate the 4 of you that are watching. If you guys have something you want to talk about specifically, or the 2 of you that are here, feel free to let me know and we'll talk about it. If Revolutionary War is what you want to talk about, we can talk about why that's probably not a great idea. But we have not exhausted the ballot box or the culture opportunities that exist in the world. And if you're in a position where you think revolution is a good idea, I'd highly recommend reading some scripture and working on that front first. So, but anyway, so I think we're gonna go. So we need to. I really want it to be taller than 37 inches. 37 inches doesn't feel tall enough to be able to like comfortably stand and work. This seems better. So if we went, I'm tempted to try to keep everything flush, but I don't really care about this toolbox. I'm trying to make sure I don't have anything in live that's gonna freak out the algorithm. But I don't think I don't think it makes sense to base the bench, which costs more in lumber, off of the toolbox, which is probably going to end up finding a new purpose in life anyway. So add a Q&A sticker. I don't know what that means. Sorry guys, this is a new process. So I don't know what that. I might just take a minute and start messing around with the functionality on this and see how that works. But anyway, so if we went here, we'd be at 44. So that would probably be more reasonable, but then Brianna would probably have a harder time working at that same bench. So maybe I split the difference between 37 and 44, which would be 7 inches. So that would be 40 inches tall. I think that would be reasonable. 40 inches seems like a good number. So we could go 40, and then we could go 36 and a half for the thing. Where did I leave my pen? Oh, over there. So what we have? Oh, we have 5 people. That's crazy. No one said anything, so I don't have anything to talk about. My beard, and not going to talk about that. Cool. Yep, nothing right now. Sick. All right, so we'll go 40 inches with a 36.5 for support, and we'll join those. So we'll probably just start on that. Go ahead and what did that say? Brandon, if you want to help me with stuff on the live, if you have a chance to come out here, I know you're baking right now, but I don't know what happens to the live when I close out of it, if it keeps recording or not, and I don't want to record my face like 3 inches from the phone while I'm trying to read it. That feels weird. So, how's the audio to the two of you that are here? Is the audio clear? Like, can you actually hear it? Is it like spotty as far as the transmission is concerned? I don't know if tools get weird for the YouTube algorithm or not, so we're gonna find that out together. Currently, this has a bunch of tile dust on. I probably should blow that off before I start screwing with it. Probably don't want to have that all over me today. Let's see. We have still 2 people and no more stuff, so that's cool. Let's see. All right. Move these. All right. Have 4 people. Welcome, other people. Give me 1 second. There's gonna be probably some loud noises. Okay, 2 people. There we go. 1 person. Hello, Brianna. My one and only viewer. The most faithful viewer of my life. Are you actively baking right now on the other side of this thing? Oh. Okay. Oh, that's gross. Lesson learned. All right. It'll be funny to watch this in a year to see the difference. I'm pretty clustered at the moment, which is fun. Any time that comes on here during the live, I don't think that counts towards watch hours, but if someone comes back and watches it later, that does count, I believe. I'm gonna cut the crap out of myself doing that. Let's see. All right, there's that. And I believe I put that on backwards. I am a woodworker, I believe. Yeah, that's backwards. Okay, cool. We will go ahead and fix that. Like I said, woodworking. Yes, Sammy and I are getting ingredients in the mixer as we speak. That's super cool. All right. You want to tell everybody what you're making? I'm not sure if I think the live stream shows up later, but I don't want to steal your thunder on your baking. That is your thing for sure. You own that. Let's see if I can get this stuff. All right, cool. Nothing. Cool. Who's the other person that's hanging out? You can hop in the conversation if you want. That'd be cool. Of course, it could just be the algorithm or the yeah, this whole representing incorrectly or random people swiping through as they go. Okay. Okay, I am having myself a straight up moment. Let's see. So takes a minute to reply. Oh, interesting. So it's coming through. So are you having like a yeah, this is definitely gonna get retitled as a test live so people don't go and watch it thinking it's gonna be about a bench. That was probably not great planning. Um do you have here, how about go ahead and just type a comment like a random thing and then shoot me a text once you post it so I can reference how long it takes to kind of come through. Just for my own awareness, I suppose. That'd be cool. There's no issues with replying. I misspoke. I had to bounce back and forth. Oh, okay. I get it. So you're saying that you're taking a minute to reply because you're in the middle of baking. That seems quite reasonable. This is always so awkward for me. It's definitely a skill issue. There is no issue. I understand. I understood what you were saying the second time. All right. Let's do that bit. Kind of wish they would have had you tighten this not against the blade, but I'm sure there's a reason for that. All right. Grab a drink of water really fast before we get started. All right. Let's see. First, use 4 bys as a brace on the floor. All right. And then I will probably adjust this so it's not crazy. Sorry about the harsh adjustments. Like I said, this is mostly a test run. Cool. And then we will get this guy out. And we have a couple other people. So this is obviously a janky setup for doing woodworking. But my sawhorses are outside and they're frozen in, so that is going to have to be the way we go. This is a basic working bench. I'm not too worried about how pretty it comes out. And as far as the live is concerned, it is predominantly a this is predominantly just a test run to kind of get everything figured out as far as how the systems work and things like that. So that's what you've scrolled upon. If you're interested in hanging out or want to talk about something, feel free. Otherwise, this is probably going to be like the lowest quality live you've ever seen. So, all right. With that, caveats and such. All right. I'm going to take a 1/2 inch off all dimensions so that I don't have to worry about the okay. Probably let the throw side drop. That would probably make more sense, yeah. Cool. Put these guys down. We'll make a little diving board for the falling piece. All right, so see if I put this blade on right or not. All right, sometime. And that worked out perfectly, so that'll be nice to fix later. Put that on the inside piece. This is the part that you get to edit out normally. That's fun. So, anybody that's just hopping in, there was a caveat at the beginning of this that I am not a woodworker. This is just a opportunity to learn how lives work. So, there is that. We're still making cinnamon rolls. Okay, so went 39.5. And that worked out pretty good. So we'll put that as an inside board. Go inside. Plus that piece. Beans. And we'll cut this one down to go 30. What is that? 39.5. So that's gonna be 36 even, should be. Something like that at least. Make sure we don't have any questions. We don't have any questions. Sweet beans. Only comments. So 36 even. Go down. Beans. That's going to be a keep sign. I'm actually going to put support board. See if that does a better job. Should be right there. Cool beans. Yeah, that worked out way better. All right, good stuff. And then we'll put that on the inside. Call that inside. And that gives us our first 2 legs. And we have, there we go. So I go something like that. All right. Cool beans. I don't think we have anything else. We have 9 people watching. All right. So there's 0 people. Oh no, that's super sad. All right, cool. Let's go ahead and get the second piece of wood. I wonder if we can edit these on the back end to like cut out the dead space. That'll be an interesting thing to Google after I have my phone back. Because I don't think that I can do that. A 49-second short was uploaded to your channel as unlisted. Oh my. Okay, cool. So I can take shorts out of this and we'll see how that turned out because I didn't know that was going to do that. This is so interesting. So what does this do? That kills the. Okay, so I guess if I need to do something that's inappropriate for the camera, I can do that. So we are learning together, guys. All 3 of you that are here. All right, and then what's this guy? Oh, we can do effects. That's fun. What do they do? What's a dance party? Oh, it's blocked. Oh, wow, that's super fancy. All right, turn that off. That was super fun. All right. And then we'll do, what else is there? What is this? So that's effects as a sticker. I can put a poll. Is this the worst live ever, quality wise? There you go. Boom. All right, there we go. So we're gonna do polls. That's fun. So we'll just leave that there. So then I hit the start poll button. There you go. Worst live ever. I don't know if I can move that. Yeah, you can. So can I move it off center? You can't move it off center. You can move it. Well, it shows that you have the functionality, but I don't know if I'm just doing it wrong. So no. Oh, I'm gonna assume that was Brianna because there's just one person here. Thank you. Let's see. It appears that I can move this around, but it's exceptionally limited in where you can move it around. So you can move it like to that is the top of the screen, and then the bottom of the screen is like there, which is interesting. I'm assuming that's showing up like where my face is. At least that's where it shows up on my side. So that is interesting. Okay. So then I can end poll by dragging it down. All right. So 100% confirmed, not the worst poll in the worst live stream in the world. Thank you, love. I don't know what this does. Green screen. Oh, cool. So I can like block out everything else. Can I add in other things? Oh, cool. So you can in like your content and then talk about. Oh, that's pretty fancy. Okay, this is gonna be. That is what is that? That's a video I edited. That's cool. Excuse me. So that's fancy. Cool. Hmm. So that's the green screen, and then you can. So I can put like pictures up and stuff. I'm not gonna do that, but that's pretty fancy. Cool. And then what else do we have in here? Lighting on. Is that real? I guess it makes a bit of a difference. All right, cool. Well, this is educational, if nothing else. So that's fun. All right, cool. Is my no, okay. Yeah, I feel like doing this with just like random stuff in the background is probably not ideal. But as far as just making random content, so we had at one point I think we had like 10 or so people on and they were asking questions. So that's pretty cool. As far if you're like trying to engage with the audience, that is probably better than doing like blanket content, especially with something like woodworking, because I am not a woodworker. Um, so like if I sit down and try, I can get something to happen, but like that's definitely not something I wouldn't go to me for advice on woodworking. But as far as like interacting with people, that seems a lot more interesting. For what it took exactly 3 seconds for someone to talk about Revolutionary War, so that's less than ideal. But I guess that's the state of the world we live in right now. So, I mean, I understand the frustrations. It's just not a great take. Shows a lack of fullness of understanding, in my opinion. What do you think, babe? Should we post this when we're done as a video? I figure it doesn't hurt anything. It's not like we have, a giant channel to like screw the algorithm up on, but to screw the algorithm up on, try to keep my words clear. I don't know. Who's the other person that's hanging out? What are you up to today? We were supposed to be working on a bench, but I'm not doing that at the moment. I'm messing with the live functions to learn how this stuff works. I'm not sure where you're at, but if you're not 30 meters away from where I am, could you let me know how the audio is coming through? Wouldn't hurt. I don't think so. I don't think it would hurt. Last time I talked because there's a little like counter right there that tells me how many people are on here. I don't know if you can see it on your side. I think you can. Excuse me. But the last time we had two people and I know you're watching, so you're one of them. So I figured I'd talk to the one person and they went away. I thought that was pretty funny. Oh, now we have two people here aside from Brianna. How are you two doing? Oh, one left. I scared that one off. Sorry. But yeah, so what we have here, Brianna, the other person that's on. I don't think I have anything else. Yeah, no. So we have this is going to get screwed and glued together, and then we're going to basically have this as a support for. Oh, sorry. We're gonna have this as a support for a 2x4, and then that'll get screwed and glued here, and then the table will sit on top of that. I'm going for a 40-inch deck height on the table so that we can both use the table, because obviously my preferred height for working standing and yours is going to be slightly different, but that's what I have going on. Figure we can talk while we're on here because it's harder for you to do that while you got the kiddos inside. So yeah, that's the plan. We're going to do that again with another piece of lumber. I've got to select the piece of lumber I want to use for that. Again, for the people that are just coming on, if you see me doing woodworking stuff, I would not advise to take any of that. Do you want to share the live on Facebook? Sure. I don't care. Let me see it. Let me see if I can make you a cool. Now you're a moderator. How cool is that? You've been upgraded. Happy anniversary. You're a moderator now. So, gotta grab a piece of wood. Be right back. All right. Let's see if I can get. Whoa! All right. So the ceiling in here is exactly tall enough to fit. It's 8 foot, so an 8 foot piece of lumber will just barely scrape by the ceiling. We've got 3 people hanging out. Let's see. I don't think it can. I don't know if this automatically populates to the bottom. It looks like it does. Cool. So, all right. I suppose if I yoinked a finger off, that would be helpful for the algorithm. Be interesting. Maybe not for Brianna. She wouldn't be very happy with me, I don't think. So, don't just a pair from that. Cool. That's not quite what I want. That's better. How obnoxious is the noise with the like with the air compressor or the saw or whatever? Is that stuff like super weird to the audio? I know with gunfire the audio maxes out so it doesn't get too crazy, but as far as like the saw, I don't think the saw is loud enough to max the audio out. So I wonder if it's like silly loud or something like that. Let's see. I want to have that supported, so we will go. I think that functions well enough. We'll go right about there so it falls away. Go put it on the outside. I think still haven't. Wouldn't hurt. right, that sounded like it might have been a little bit more extreme for the camera. I'm sure you'll let me know here in a second. So that came out. For the one other person on here, my sawhorses are stuck outside in the snow. More so with the ice, but snow practically enough. So that works. There's one more. And we'll do the other one, same deal. 3.5 inches, 36 even. Nice. Okay. Let's see. Do we have anything else? Don't have anything else. What do you think? I'll find out in a second. I don't. It's hard for me to open the images. Because I don't know what happens to the. I guess you could tell me what happens to the camera, but I don't actually know what happens to the camera when you do that. Let's see. That looks about right. Cool. All right. Let me see. Give me a second. Oh, you know what? I probably should check the group chat and see if one of the guys have let me know that they're on, because that would explain why they're. Let me see. Give me that if you want to. Is that Instagram or is that Facebook? I'm not sure like how you can. I don't know how that works as far as pushing this camera through. I think I could probably do multiple apps on one device, but I only have YouTube on this phone. Like I don't have TikTok or any of the other apps at the moment. So we're at 36 minutes right now. That seems crazy. 36 minutes of blabbering and playing with the settings on here, so that's fun. Facebook, copy the link from here and post it there. Okay. I mean, if you want to, we'll see how that goes. I don't know if will that automatically end once it's like once I end this one, will it automatically end the one on Facebook? And is that through your personal like Facebook profile? Or are you doing it through my Facebook? Hello, other people. Sorry, we're trying to figure out how all this works. Whoa. There's games in there. That's fun. I don't think I can play that on the thing. That'd be weird. Let's see. Chat filter. Community moderation, auto chat, translation. Oh, that's sick. Bring them to the live. Okay, yeah, go ahead. That'd be fine. That'd be cool. I suppose that'll be on yours, so I'll have random family members to come through. Maybe they can wish you a happy anniversary or wish us a happy anniversary. That'd be neat. Cool. So yeah, however you want to do it, that's fine. Fine with me. But this, like I said, this is mostly me just making sure that the system works with our internet, and that I understand how all the options right here work. I suppose on your guys' end, you just have like the normal like comment and like dislike functions and all that. I wonder if we have any dislikes. Someone can be our first. There's two other people other than you right now. So was this okay? Probably should have made sure I had everything I needed out here before I started the live. Probably would have looked more collected that way, but I don't see a reason to pretend that I'm overly collected in lanes I don't belong. That doesn't seem reasonable to me. I am not a master woodworker, so we are set up for building rifles, not for making benches. So I think I know I had wood glue in here. I just don't know if it stayed in here. That's the tricky part. Hey, look at that. I was joking. We are super prepared for this. All the preparations. Look at that. We are so incredibly prepared. Hopefully this isn't. Let's see. Nope, we're good to go. Sick. All right. So I will need to do some pre-drilling, which will be nice and fun. Oh, babe hopped off. Let's see. This is next. Oh, my screws are inside. That's funny. Oh, no, they're not. They're right here. These are deck screws. That's super fancy. Someone will be upset about that. So we have 3-inch depth total, right? There's 1.5 by 2. It's going to be 3. This is going to be 2.5 inches. So that gets us through. And then we have a relatively small number of these, but that is only needed for joining the 2x4s together. And let's see. Am I still live? Sick. Yeah, we're super live. We're the livest. The livest up in here. Let's see what else I have. So we have 3-inch screws. 1 1/4. So what's all right. All right. 1 5/8. These are chamfers, so they hypothetically shouldn't split. That's cool. And then these are all the same as far as diameter is concerned. Have gauge. Gauge. Okay, so it's gonna be different. All right. 0 people. So let's see. All right, cool. I need to get construction screws. So that would probably be cooler. So put these back in the. Oh, that's a 3 inch. We don't want the 2 inch. We want the 2.5 inch. Facebook copy link from here and post it there. Okay. Did you do that on your end, or am I doing that on my end? Or are you doing that at the moment as we speak? All right. Go make sure this is. Yeah. So we'll do 3 per leg. That should give us a relatively good run. Okay. And then I need my screw bit, which is right here. So we will select bit, see if this works for us. That's going to be a bit small. So that's going to be small, less small, but it should give us a good bit of light. That should be cool. Okay, cool beans. Let's see if I can use clamp to keep everything nice and happy together. Should have that's right here. All right. Do this first. Got it. Question mark. 1 sec. I didn't see your question. Give me a sec. On YouTube, or is that on? I guess the link on Facebook brings you to YouTube. Am I still frozen? I'm not sure if my connections. This is the kind of stuff I want to learn about. This okay. Is it still frozen, or was it temporarily? Okay, cool. Thank you. All right, that's the kind of stuff we're talking about. That's exactly the point. If I can unplug this so I can be free of my camera, and we'll bring this over. Free of the charger, rather. All right. There's misspeaks and everything. This will probably be a good tool for like learning how to speak the way I want to speak. Talking to a person is easy because you're speaking to a person and it's like a known quantity as you're speaking with them because they're there with you in the conversation. Where this is like weird because you could be like mid sentence and then someone comes in. So like yeah, when I started talking, there was one person, but now there's 3 additional people. So like they came in halfway through the sentence, right? Which is super interesting. And my brain doesn't like it. My brain does not like that fact at all. So if you're a woodworker, go easy on the judgment, please. If you are not a woodworker, do not take anything you're seeing here and try to use it. It is jank. So go ahead and realign that. That's fun. All right, cool. And then when you have awkward moments, you can't just edit it out later. So that's also fun. Facebook Live. Okay, we're still on that same comment. That's fine. So that's also additionally fun. So we can come in. Oh, that makes sense. Okay. So I typically use a guide. So I'll take a measurement off the saw and then measure without that measurement in place. So like if I need to do 30 inches and the guard is 5 inches, I'll measure to 25 and then put a flat on the like a hard line on the wood. I didn't do that today because I was intimidated by the live, and it is coming back to strike for sure. But what just happened was the guard was interacting with this piece of wood underneath and making everything funky, which is also fun. So I'm gonna come off just a little bit like I did for the tile. And all right, that should give us a slightly cleaner result. See how that went. That looks to be pretty okay. Pretty okay. Pretty okay indeed. And then check our measurement. We're at, that'll work. That will do what I want it to do, which is good. Good stuff. And then we will use that. That is definitely the rougher side. Just nice and clean. That's definitely the rougher side. Go in. Get everything flushed up. Check our work as far as angles concerned. Then clamp into place to make it stay nice and pretty. And that should give us what we're looking for as far as the sweet. All right. I like when things kind of work. That's a good feeling. So we'll keep the way it is. Then we will put in our glue and make our joints. We have anybody here? We have one person. Hello, Brianna. How are you? Love you as always. I wish you were here. That would be way more interesting if you were here, because then you could like keep an eye on the live. Then I wouldn't be distracted by it. But I also appreciate you being inside baking, because that is super cool. So I also like that you can like that we can like almost hang out through the live. That is pretty fun and interesting as well. Oh, that clogged. That's super unfortunate. Let's see if I can find a yeah. So that's what I'm talking about. We have two other people in here. Welcome to the chat. Feel free to leave comments if you have questions or anything like that. But mostly a practice run on the lives to kind of learn how everything works with the lives and to see how this kind of goes. So yeah, gotta find something to work as an applicator. Might just use gloves. All right, cool. We have two other folks here. Gonna take my sweater off. It's getting pretty warm out here. Alaska this time of year is really funky. So like this morning it was below freezing, and now everyone is gone. Well, Brianna, do you want to know what Alaska is like? You could listen to me, or you could step outside, and then you'll get your answer either way. So that's fun. Let's see. Welcome, other person. Let's go ahead and do this with a finger, I suppose. Just get this finger on. So we'll just go like that. Just glob there, glob there, glob there, and we'll spread that with the whole finger, the finger method. Probably should put this about where we put the screws, huh? That probably would make sense to preferentiate where we have the screws already. Probably do that on the next one. But the applicator is clogged, and I don't feel like going through to fix it. So here we go. Move this guy out of the way for now. We have anybody else with questions or anything? Nope, just Brianna. As far as comments are concerned, at least. Other people are just watching some weirdo work in his cabin, so that's fine. you guys see anything or have any questions, feel free. Nothing yet? Cool. Just bring it on. All right. This feels dirty. This feels not good on the fingers. I'm gonna grab a shot down real fast and wipe my fingers off. Or actually, rather, I'm probably not gonna wipe my fingers off. I'll probably just use this to put that down. All right. Other questions? Have you had any interaction with the Facebook link? I imagine not. So, I did not think this reversed, which is quite clear now. All right. Have to come up with a different process for the next one. That's fine. Okay. Go here. I should not have extra stuff unnecessarily. Put that there. All this. Oh no. Okay, that didn't work. Let's see. I know I have other clamps. I just don't know where they're at the moment. The one I need is in the house, which is unfortunate. But this should function well enough just to keep everything agreeable while I push through with this. Where is my screw gun? Hey Brandon, did I leave that screw gun on the counter next to the door? The table next to the door? I feel like that's what I did. Because I'm not seeing it immediately in here. Yep, I think that's what I did. That's fun. Could you let me know if you see that on the counter? Because I'm pretty sure I left it in the house. If one of you see it in the background, you could definitely let me know. That would be super helpful. But I think I left it in the house. I could have put it in the bucket. Let me check the bucket. Bucket is. Where is my bucket? What is going on? I'm losing it. That's fine. Well, new subject of the live. Doug is losing it. That's good. I don't know if I. Oh no, I left the bucket in the house, and I probably left the screwdriver in that same deal. What am I looking for? The the screw gun that's on the table. I'm pretty sure. If you could run that out, that would be lovely. I could come to you as well if that's easier for you. I'm not sure what you're doing with the baking right now, so put a little bit of weight on here or something to make sure that's not getting messed with. I don't want to use that because that probably kill the live. Yeah, if you could do that, that would be lovely. It should be on the table next to the door. That would be my guess. You can hop on and talk to people if you want to. There's at least one other person at the moment, so let's see. Yeah, hopefully you have that. I brought my metallic stick on a rope. It'll be a minute. That's fine. All right. What can I do in the meantime? I don't think there's much I can do in the meantime. We'll see. Okay. In the meantime, I suppose we'll just interact with the camera and see if there's anyone that hops on. There's one person right now. I don't know who that is, obviously. But if you want to comment something or whatever else, that's fine. See if we can adjust this so it's not super funky. Oh, I'm wrong part of the camera. All right, cool. So, waiting on a screwdriver or a screw gun. What the heck is it's a brushless drill? A hand drill, I suppose, is the actual term for it. But yeah, So this is going to be a bench for doing work on rifles. We have the cabin pulled apart at the moment, so this is the least attractive state I've had the cabin in for quite some time. So that's fun. But it's so interesting how this works because there'll be like one person and then three and then 10. And as people like come and go, but they don't come in ones or twos, they come in like three, which is, I don't know if that's just how the algorithm pushes it. Like if they push it out, they push it out to like multiple people and then they swipe through. I don't know how that works, but it's super interesting to me that these things work because it's very rare that someone comes on where it's like 3, 4, 5. It's like 3, 6, 10, which is jarring when you're not used to it. It's way different doing this. Like talking to a camera that's live feels weird. What's not true? That is not true. I don't know what I said that wasn't true, but it's probably not true. You're probably right. Um, that's 9 years of marriage, folks. I'm just kidding. But that is not true. What did I say that wasn't true? Now I'm concerned. But it's jarring because like on a normal conversation, you're talking to like one person or a group of people, and then like if someone walks up, you like see them walking up. Where here it's like you're talking, and then like four people coming out of nowhere, and then like two will leave. It's just the state of the cabin. Oh, that is not true. That this is the most unattractive it's been in a while. I disagree. This is pretty bad. So I can't show everything because there's guns over here, but there is. I can go to there. So it's crazy in here right now. I think that's where start. Okay, I have to stop there. But yeah, it is super duper crazy right now. But there's some cool stuff I can grab and talk about. But I don't know like because there's only like three people on right now. So the likelihood that those three people are interested in like random lubricant testing, for example, is pretty low. But if you guys are interested in random lubricant testing, yeah, see, they all left. So let me see if I can loosen this up and move this around. This might get funny. Let's see. Someone might find this interesting. I think it's interesting, but from the very beginning of this journey, it has been rough getting that the way we want. Yeah, that's true. Um, sorry, I'm trying to spin the mount without spinning the actual. So there's a ball joint that sits on a mount. So this can rotate and then the ball joint can rotate. I was trying to rotate the ball joint. But anyway, so let's see, that's pretty loose. So yeah, it has been quite the process to get to where we're at. It's funny how that works because like with the FFL, we had um yeah, it was just funny how that works because we're trying to bring a product to the market that's based around the Glock pistol, and then the second we follow our FFL, the government shut down. Glock shut their pistols down, and like it's like oh no, everything fell apart. So that was fun. That was an interesting experience. So the one time I needed the federal government to operate, and they were like peace. So, but in all fairness, ATF has been awesome to work with since then, so no problems with them. I need to do a video on that, on what it's been like to work with ATF. That has been a surprising journey. So, were you able to find that brushless hand drill by chance? Needing to. Oh, okay, cool. Were you able to find it though? Because if you found it, that's good enough for me. I could see if I can get away from this. I'm not. All right, zero people. Heck yeah, dude. Peak performance right here. So yeah, so it's because it's funny. Are you? I don't know if you're on right now or not, but because it says zero people. I don't know if the drill or screwdriver. The drill, the red Milwaukee drill that's on the table. That's what I'm looking for. I look so pale with this. Do I have my lighting thing on? That looks slightly more natural. My head looks weird to me without. I don't have my headlamp on, and it makes my head look weird. Like the hat looks funny on my head to me. So, yes, it's on the table. Yeah, that makes sense. That checks out. Yeah, it's funny because we're in the transitional season where I don't have my headlamp on, and it makes my head look weird to my own eyes. Where I'm like, you don't look like you because you don't have your dangly bit on. So, I want to talk about lubricant, but there's no one to talk about lubricant with. So now I'm sad. Um, yeah. I wonder how that short's doing. I wonder if I can like put content up like with the green screen. I took a pretty funny video coming out here. I wonder if I can like play that on. Oh, you took. No, you can't. Can I add? I'm messing with the thing at the moment. There's recents, but those. So those are images. I don't think I can. Oh, bye. Okay, that didn't work. That's fine. Hello. But yeah, so we are waiting on a drill right now. It's saying there's one person on here. I don't know if that's Brandon or not. She may still be in the dough kneading process. So are you kneading dough or do you knead dough? Because those are two different things. Oh. Can I like my own life? No. That's unfortunate. It'd be funny. All right, let's see. Am I still lined up down here? Yes. And yes. Okay, so at least that's all happy. All right. I might just end this and then restart it once I might just come in and grab that real fast. See if I can. How do I even end this? That's true. You do need the dough. You need it for what you're making. Um, so I literally don't know how to end this. I think it's just the X button at the top. What's this button do? Copy link. So I guess if I copy the link, I can then share that to like Facebook, and that's how I can like put it out to different places on the internet. And then we can put that on the website. Be super cool once we're all fancy with the actual website. That'll be really nice. Yes. Yeah. Okay. I presume you're responding to me saying that's how the link sharing works, right? This is so funny because if you scroll back, you're the only comment for the last like I don't know 15 comments. Let's see. So I heard a door shut, so I don't know if that's you or someone else. That would be interesting. Anyway, so we are. If you are not Brianna, then we are waiting on a drill right now. I'm in the middle of making a bench and figured I'd use this as an opportunity to figure out how the live system works. So, and my lighting in this angle is terrible. So, the lighting in this room is challenging because there's windows on the southeast and west side, which lets a lot of sunlight in, which is great for natural lighting, but it's terrible if you need to control the lighting. Um, and I don't have like sophisticated lighting setups yet, so nor will I for quite a while probably. So I'm sorry. Why are you sorry? You got a frowny face. No, I'm sorry. I'm sorry that you're frowning. I wish you were smiling. You're much prettier when you smile. All right. You're waiting for the drill. Oh no, you're fine. You're fine. I'm just hanging out. Um, yeah, this has been interesting because I'm not familiar with how the well, I was not familiar with how the live process worked, and this is pretty cool to like use it. So I feel like I wish I had my scriptures and I could at least read. So there's something going on while I was sitting here. That'd be cool. So you are waiting for the so yeah. Let's see. I'm probably gonna end this and then I'll start the live over and then I'll just title it better. That I'm like, messing with live at part 2 or whatever. Here, I'll just do that. I'm gonna end it. Bye. Oh, cancel. Hey, Abraham Gribble, I do remember you. You were here earlier. I remember your name because you have a good name, a strong name, and I appreciate it. So, welcome back. So, if there's something you want to talk about, you are welcome to tell me what that is. Don't turn it off. Okay, I'm not going to turn it off. I will listen to you, my love, my help. I talk a lot about a lot of interesting stuff. LOL. Yeah, I was going to turn it off. I was about to come inside to grab, or I am inside. I was about to go outside to go in to the house to grab a drill, but my wife's going to bring it because she is awesome. So, can you give me a shout out? A shout out to where? You should check out Abraham. He has a cool name. A son with his father's name, perhaps. The yeah, I don't know where you're at, so or where you want to shout out for. But if you got something you're doing, I'd love to talk about it. I'm doing some pretty cool stuff. Maybe it'd be mutually beneficial. So what sucks is that a lot of the stuff we're working on is gun related. So like I have a rifle sitting right there and it has like a prototype sling, for example, which isn't a fancy sling, albeit it's just a very simple sling, but I like it quite a lot and I'd love to talk about it. But bringing it onto this would cancel the stream and might also give me a strike and might also get me banned from doing future lives. Georgia, that's dope. Welcome from the other side of the continent, basically. I'm in Alaska. I think you know that from earlier. So it is snow. It's like 45 degrees outside, but it's also we had I don't know 5 feet or so feet of snow over the year, but that compresses throughout the season. So there's like an active 3 feet of snow, and that's still melting. So if you see that short that's on the channel, it's a hi. If you see the short that's on the channel, it's me walking through that muck that forms from all that snow melting, and that takes a while because we're up in Talkeetna. We're not technically in Talkeetna, but that's where we're technically at. Abraham is my brother. I think we're all each other's brothers and sisters, technically speaking. Um, but if you guys are actually siblings, that's super cool. My sister is on here. Oh, you guys are actual siblings. That's super cool. Oh, you brought me my headlamp so I can feel comfortable. Thank you. My head looks weird to me without seeing it because like yeah. So I have a Bible now if you guys want to reference scripture. And I have my headlamp so that I can be comfortable with my face because I wear this for the winter because Alaska's funky. And I have a drill, which is super exciting. Do you want to say hi to Abraham and his sister Baxley? Are you gonna end it or no? No, I'm gonna be hanging out for a while. This is fun for me because here's my wife.
Hi.
We have been married 9 years today, so that's fun. Happy anniversary.
Happy anniversary.
But yeah, so it's you can hang out if you want. I just know you're baking. She's in the middle of making. You can tell them what you're making.
Well, I'm making cinnamon rolls.
Yeah.
Right now they're rising.
So, um, but yeah, so no, this is cool because this is not a format I'm used to like
This is
using.
probably freaking Samuel.
Well, I'm sure it's freaking Samuel out. So our son is inside and my wife's phone's in there with this on it, and mom and dad are outside, and he's looking at it like, get the stones? Like
You're so it's not just playing from the phone speaker. You're on the Bluetooth speaker.
Oh, that's weird. I wish I didn't know that. Baxley, I'm sorry if I'm saying your name wrong, but Baxley also said hello. That is Abraham's sister.
Hello.
So this is our first time having a live, so it's new to us.
Did you figure out where they're from?
Yeah, they're in Georgia. Well, Abraham's in Georgia. I don't know. You are 10. Hello, Abraham. He is apparently 10, and he is in Georgia, so that's pretty cool. But yeah.
Warmer weathers.
Huh?
It's warmer weather.
It's I imagine it's much warmer in Georgia. So is Baxley.
It is
Okay, cool. So yeah, they're both
probably 45 right now.
yeah, it's about 45 degrees here, Fahrenheit.
And we have
So
a lake in our yard.
we do. We do have a lake in our yard. It is crazy out there. It is hot. Yeah. See, oh man. So I'm from Maryland originally, and I moved to Florida when I got out of high school, and then I enlisted in the army, and then basic was at Georgia. Love that area down there. I am not made for the cold. I am made for warm weather. So Alaska's gets funky. Oh, I'm sure it gets annoying. Wh- everywhere has its own variety of hardness. That's a fact of life. So except for maybe like Hawaii, but they have terrible legislation. So do we fish in the pond in our yard? No. There's not fish there. But so the pond she's referring to is all the snow melt. So there's a I don't know, there's tons, like literally tons of snow in the yard, and it's melting, but the ground is still frozen, so the water can't seep through the ground efficiently. So the water
So it's
accumulates
low.
at yeah, so there's a low point in the southeast corner of our yard, and it's all the water is just kind of draining there. So like the so this cabin that we're in has little concrete pads that the posts, the pillars that the cabin sits on, and those posts are in water right now. It's crazy. Um, yeah. See, we get snow a lot. It naturally, but it's the snow down there is different though. So like when I was in Maryland, the snow it's so infrequent that it's like jarring and it changes your environment throughout the winter. Where in Alaska, it's very consistently snowy, so it kind of sets an easy baseline that you can adjust to. So like driving in Maryland, you get black ice and things like that.
Oh, there's the salmon.
So all right, love you. Um, so where in Alaska, it's icy year round. Oh, not year round, but it's icy throughout the entire winter. So it makes everything a lot easier to manage. You're not wondering like the weather changing doesn't change anything other than visibility all that drastically. Obviously, the roads can get better or worse, but it's not drastic. So, but yeah. So I have a drill now, which means I can pre-drill my posts and then secure them. So I'm gonna get back to work. I will continue talking to you guys if you guys have what is going on here. So where did that drill bit go? I have a bunch of random stuff here for props in case people want to talk about nerd stuff. Let's see. It appears I've lost my drill bit. That's not very fun. So bye. I liked and subbed when you are gonna be live off. I'm gonna get off. Okay, you guys have a great day. I have to find my drill bit. I don't know where it went. So this was not an organized live. So to the other people that are on here, welcome. You're more than welcome to be here. But this is really turning out to be more of just me messing with the live and getting used to it. Um and figuring out kind of like I guess just testing the waters. It's something I want to do more of. But I didn't want to have my first live be something where I really wanted to be like impactful or like have good conversations and then also be wondering what the connection's doing and things like that. Yo, can you give a shout out to the lesbians? I will not give a shout out to the lesbians because that is a group of people, and I'm not going to categorize a group of people in a shout out. Where I will talk about individual human beings and whether or not they have afflictions and their lifestyles and such is another issue, but not one that we need to address because that's not my lane at all. So I would like to know where my drill bit is though. Shout out to my drill bit if it makes an appearance. That'd be cool. So can you give a shout out to the lesbians? What the hell? That's so funny. All right. People are funny in these lives. It's always funny to me to see like when you have people commenting like random crazy stuff versus like people having conversations or arguments or whatever. I always find that stuff incredibly interesting. Not as interesting as finding my drill bit. but, um, oh, there it is. That's funny. Okay, cool. All right. Nobody at the moment. That's fine. I was just asking, man. Okay, fair enough. Are you a lesbian? I'm a lesbian. Fair enough. Well, tell me about yourself. Your sexuality is not that interesting compared to the whole universe that is you in your own individuality and characteristics. I'd love to hear about that, but the your preferences for partners is I'm quite happily married, so that's not particularly relevant to me. Let's see. Um, but you're more than welcome here for whatever that's worth. The it's funny. We are like the most extreme kind of Christian, which is funny because you go down the rabbit hole. Like, let me see if I can find a prop. Give me a second. So let's say this is if you say like this is Christianity, right? And then you start here with like the very entry to like the idea of being a Christian, and then you come over here and it's like full blown like you keep the commands, you walk in the ways, you do everything like you like full sanctification, like kingdom level. So as far as like judgment of others go, like if judgment is up and no judgment is down, it's like you don't know to be judgmental when you're brand new, right? And then as you learn and people can kind of develop pride, right? But then at some point you realize like, oh no, I'm actually pretty crappy at like doing this whole like walking in commands, or like I have my own problems to figure out. And then you start having like the heart of stone thing turn into like a heart of flesh, and your judgment for other people goes considerably down, and you're way more interested in just sharing your own witness. So I've always found that interesting, where we're the the legalistic Christians because we keep the commands, but then we're also like typically either the most or least judgy people about like people's personal lives and things like that, depending on that individual person, of course, because speaking in generalities is not particularly beneficial to anyone. So we are just going through and pre-drilling this so that we can put pressure on it. This is a this is going to be a workbench. Then these are legs to a workbench. I don't know what head of screw I have here. TX25. Oh no, that's annoying. Okay, let me see what I have up. I should have a bit in here. Do I have any other things? Bye. Bye. Sweet. Do have a bit in here. That's exciting. I'm a little bit in the deep blue sea. Let's see. Anybody at the moment? Okay. I just got told I can't be Christian because I'm a lesbian in a different life because it's a sin. That's insane. That's a terrible way to think about belief. Um, first of all, I'm sorry that someone told that to you. That's freaking terrible. The we all we all partake in sin. Like obviously, 5 years into Christianity, your sin should hopefully look different. Um, and if you want to get technical, there's not actually like if you go into the Torah, the law, and the Bible, the individual commands. I'm not saying it's not a sin to be a lesbian. I am saying that when you're reading the actual law itself, it seems pretty obvious that it specifically says, at least in Leviticus, I believe it's in Leviticus, because so you have the majority of the laws outlined in Leviticus, but then in Deuteronomy you kind of get a crash course on the commands, so you get a second perspective or a second wording on a lot of the same commands. This kind of like Moses's farewell address, and the wording of it seems to be pretty pointed towards male homosexuality, not necessarily to female. I don't know if there's like a spiritual difference between those two things. I'm not saying that. But when you look at it, like if you want to get super technical about what's actually in the Bible, that's not something that appears to be covered. Um, and then there's other commands that lead some pretty interesting question marks on that subject because it is not explicitly against the Torah. The Torah is the biblical law. It's not explicitly against Torah to have two wives, but then it is against Torah to have two sisters in the same house as wives, right? So that's why Jacob had his two wives in separate dwellings because they were both sisters. So then two sisters aren't supposed to lie together, so you separate them into separate dwellings. But if someone has two wives that aren't sisters, what's the implication of that? That's like super deep, like that you'd have to be pretty well versed in the law to have like a real argument about it. But saying that like the technicality of that subject is pretty complicated if you're going to give it a fair shake. Uh, but regardless of that, like if a person is a Christian and partakes in eating pork, can they not be a Christian anymore? Like, or is that just not the part of the journey that they're on? So if you look at everyone's individual journey into being a Christian as their own personal exodus, so to speak, because the book of Exodus shows Moses delivering the people of Israel out of Egypt, right? And if you look at your own walk into belief as your own exodus from coming from a worldly perspective to a perspective based in Messiah, your own path is going to sanctify different parts of your life at different parts of the path. The law wasn't given on one day, right? You got the Ten Commandments in one day, sort of, but you didn't get the entirety of the law in one day. You got it over the course of time, and then we experience sanctification over time as we have the opportunity to go through life trying to walk as Messiah walked. So to say that you can't be a Christian because of one particular sin is that's like the Pharisees talking about Messiah, sitting down with tax collectors. That's a terrible way to speak for the belief. At least in my opinion, it doesn't matter where you are right now. Um, as to whether or not you can turn into your belief. You can turn into your belief from any level of sin. It's what you do with the belief if you actually start walking that out. Now in 2 years or 3 years, might you come to a point where you decide that you can't live that lifestyle? Like maybe. Am I the one to tell you that? No, the spirit is. The spirit is what sanctifies, not me, not my opinions, not someone else's opinions. Your interaction with your belief is what actually matters, right? Your interaction, your trust in him. That's what actually is going to develop your spirituality. And I'm sorry that that was something you experienced. So yeah, that's super dissatisfying. So I don't know if you're still here or not, but happy to talk about that more. That's my favorite thing. I even have a set of scriptures here if you want to talk about that stuff more. I'd happily stop working on this bench to talk about scripture. And if you're in Alaska and you want a copy of scriptures, let me know. I'll get you one. If you're not in Alaska, then Grindstone Ministries has them at their cost. They'll also give them to you for free. Um, but if you're not in a position not to be able to afford that, which is perfectly fine. All right. All right. Welcome, other folks. All two of you, maybe one of you. I'm not sure. If you guys have questions about scripture, that would be fun. It's my favorite thing to talk about. Nothing yet. Cool. So we are making legs for a workbench. So that's what I'm doing. This live is really just to play with the live and see how things are functionality wise with it. We're in Alaska, so we don't have great reception, and I wanted to kind of test the theory of how these lives go before we start trying to do like actual lives. Um, so yeah, that's what we're doing. That's what we're up to. That's leg one. And we need leg two. That's going to be the inside. I don't know if this is the long one or the short one. Oh, right. I was using this for that example earlier. I don't think anyone else has sent any comments, so I'll just keep going. I know I had specified. Oh, I'm an idiot. Can't edit that out. That's always fun. Let's see. So that's going to be the bottom. That's super unfortunate. All right. Hi, I'm back. Welcome back. Let's see. I'm trying to figure out a better way to put wood glue on this. My applicator is currently clogged. Is it a pure clogged? Maybe it's just hard to push through. Now let's get this. Make sure that we have an idea of where we're going. Nothing yet. Cool. Make sure we're flush there. That's pretty close to flush. Sweet. We have 3 people on right now. So here's a fun fact. On a tape measure, you have this little piece of metal right here that you can use to clip on an edge, right? So there's a little bit of play in there, and that's intentional because this length. So if you're pushing against something, you're measuring this metal, and if you're pulling against something, you're not measuring it, right? So that play is to adjust for the diameter of that little piece of metal. So I had an actual person that actually knows how to use these sorts of tools teach me that, and it's a really interesting thing to know. So all right, where's my pen? Don't have any more questions at the moment or comments. Okay. Let's not put that on there. That was dirty. I don't think we have any comments. We only have the 3 folks hanging out. Oh, that's not what I wanted to do. Interacting with comments I don't want to interact with. That's not how I want to be. There we go. All right, cool. This is actually pretty fun. It sucks I can't do this for like the more interesting stuff that we do, but it is what it is. I understand why we have the policies on YouTube that we have, so I'm not complaining. That's unfortunate. That is clogged. I wonder if that's something I could fix. Does not appear to be. All right. No other comments? Sick. Right. Then we'll put one little dobby there. Little dobby there. And a little dobby right about there. Clean. Folks. Make sure we look happy. All right, so we'll have to just keep some pressure there. Where's my drill? There it is. We have 0 folks. It just me at the moment. I think the others left. Yeah, I think so. That is how that be, and that's fine. What do you think about the conversation with the other fellow, with the Sure, we're not going to go through all the way. That's all right. Make sure everything's happy and lined up. Okay, let's put constant pressure here. I'm going to do the first one right up there. That. Welcome back. Oh, right, that was there already. Nice. All right, cool. Then we'll go right here. See if we can just keep pressure like this. Something like, yeah, that's about right. All right. Get that secured. Other comments yet? I have 2 folks. I feel like it was discussed. Cool. Appreciate that. That's 3. Don't want that. All right. All right. 3 folks at the moment. Where are you guys from? For the folks viewing at the moment, some weirdo working in a cabin. No one yet. Fair enough. I probably wouldn't respond either. In all fairness. Oh. Sherpin's happy. So happy. That's pretty cool. I'll come this way. Nothing at the moment. Sick. Two people. Make sure that's about right. That's about right. Push that. Get through here. Let's see. So 3 photos. Why am I doing like that? Cool beans. Then we'll go one more. I need to remove these 3 inches away from me because I'm gonna end up messing something up. That's gonna happen for sure. Oh hey, we got baby here. Wouldn't you be able to talk about our intentions with the business without talking about the parts we can't talk about? Yeah, so we can talk about guns, we just can't like touch them. So that like I understand why people get frustrated about that policy. I mean, like obviously, like I don't think YouTube cares about us doing it. That's not the reason that that policy is in place. The reason that policy is in place is because people have done acts of violence on lives, so they have the algorithm set up to detect firearms to kill the stream, so that acts of violence can't be recorded on their on these lives, or at least they can't be as fully recorded on these lives. So I can talk about firearms. I just can't talk. I just can't like demonstrate with firearms. And then if I grab like an airsoft gun or a BB gun, the the algorithm is based off of AI, and it's probably not going to distinguish between a live firearm and a a fake firearm, a firearm replica, for example. So so yeah, I can talk about it, but there's I don't want to just sit here and blab because what'll end up happening if I just sit here and blab is I'm going to blab about something that's relevant and it's going to be hidden at, what, 93 minutes into a live. And then people, I'm going to assume that that information's out there. No one's going to see it. And then I'm going to be talking about stuff as if people um, should know the thing that there's no reason for them to know. So if people have questions about like firearms or the stuff that we're doing, that I'd be happy to answer them, but I don't want to like start blabbing and get myself off track or share information that would be better shared in like a cohesive video, if that makes sense. So, but yeah, so we and by we I mean our LLC have an FFL, so that's fun. Yeah, I know. I saw your messages. That's fine. You can let the puppies out. We have an FFL. We are developing a rifle. It's pretty cool in that it's not trying to be something overly cool. It's a really simple AR-15 based platform made with some really high quality materials. Nothing exotic any more so than yeah, that's fine. You can let the puppies out. Nothing exotic, but mil spec materials, Carpenter 158 bolts, things like that. Certified steel for the barrels, all that, all the nerd stuff that nerds look for on rifles. All that stuff's there. But it's a very basic, well-made rifle. So we'll be having content testing that stuff. Both on this and on the company channel once we create the company channel. We need to do that, by the way. We need to start the company channel so that we can start interacting with videos and such on there so that YouTube recognizes it's an actual channel and not some random AI channel. YouTube uses that information to promote real channels over the AI stuff. The AI stuff is well made and interacts with the algorithm well, so that's why it does so well, in spite of that work. So yeah, I don't see any comments right now. So if anyone has a question or wants to tell me how dumb my beard looks or something, that's fine. It would be helpful because then I can interact with that and say something rather than just blabber. So, but we're about to start moving on to the next thing. I have the rear legs made. I'm probably gonna need to. Should I should I build them as individual frames? That's what I initially said I would do. I don't normally have like written down plans to follow, and when I'm by myself and not on a camera, that works out pretty well. But when I'm on camera, it makes me really nervous to just kind of like roll through the random stuff. um, so I'm kind of debating how I want to go about that. So I think we're gonna make the frame. I'm talking to my wife. She's on the other side of this. Hello, Baxley. Welcome back. Baxley's coming to us from Georgia, as her brother told us earlier. Um, so the table is 6 feet long. I'm gonna go throw a tape on that really fast. I'm gonna be off camera for a second. So table 6 foot long. I think I want to have. Yeah, 62 inches. I think I want to have the tiniest bit of overhang on the table just to make sure everything is kind of like drop clean without having like stuff sticking out. So we'll probably go. I'm gonna bring that frame to the edge. If we bring it an inch and a half from the edge, then we can get away with having a little bit of support for the outline points. So I'll probably bring that. No, because then I won't have any support on the. Maybe I'll maybe I'll make another leg. Maybe we'll have 3 legs in the back, 2 in the front. The ones in the front are going to be 4x4 materials, so they're going to be a little bit denser than the two 2x tied together. So the comments say there. So I have Baxley's comment down there. Did you finish? No. We are, but I did make. Let's not fall. That'd be funny. So we have our 2 legs currently. So these are gonna sit towards the back. You have this nasty one I made. I was still figuring out how I wanted to do the cuts, and I had one go haywire on me. So I'm gonna have to put that um on the inside. I just got a splinter, so that felt really good. Let's see. Yay, no more splinters. But yeah, so this is gonna sit like this, and then will these stuff stand? Super sweet. And then I will have this is obviously not actually how it's gonna be, but these are then going to interact with a 2x4 that is going to sit like that. See? And that's going to give us the tabletop. So this will be the back. I'm probably gonna make one more of these so I can have it with one on the edge, one on the front edge, and then one in the middle. But obviously a little bit wider than this. So oh, that was a bad idea. Don't do that, Doug. Let's try to keep that without falling. That would be cool. So I might make one more of these. So yeah, so those are screwed and glued. The way that works, at least the way I understand it to work. So the glue is on the inside of the joint right here between these two 2x4s. They're not faced. If I was trying to do like more professional work, you would want to face this to make it all nice and flat. You could even kind of bow this out a little bit so that the springiness of the wood gets pushed together. But for me, I just put glue on the inside and then put screws through the outside to kind of tie it all together and keep pressure on the wood so the glue can set. But yeah. So, oh no. Let's see. Put these over here on their back so they don't fall. So they want to make one more of those. I have those at 39.5 inches, so I can make another one with one of those studs over there. That's all right. I have another one right here. Super, super fun. I don't think I have any more comments. That's fun. Makes it easier. Actually, let's leave that up there like that for now. I get everything else adjusted underneath of it. It's awkward doing this on a live because like I'm flying here. That's not fun. It's there's no like real reason, but it's like intimidating to have people just randomly coming in while you're trying to figure out your life. Because again, woodworking is not my thing. Um, that's not going to be proper dimension, but that's probably fine. All right, so we'll bring this out, spread this out a bit. Like that. This back. We have two people here. Hello, two people. Like this. And then we'll get our measurement. Where's my tape measure? There it is. Cool. That together. The drill bit has been the elusive character of this live so far. So that's super fun. Oh, I'm not even in frame right now. People are coming on like, what is going on? That is super funny. Okay, cool. All right, have to figure out. There's my drill bit. Sweet beans. All right. So keep all that together so we don't lose it. Then we have tape measure and square. No other comments. Okay. Come down 35.5. That should be about right. There's the panel. Okay. It's about right. Buildings. Other comments at the moment? Nobody's watching. Try to hurry up and get this cut made so no one has to see it. That'd be good. Let's see. Oh, now there's three people, of course. So if I flop my finger off, that would make this way more entertaining, I bet. I do bet. I don't actually bet, but you get what I'm saying. Take one of these guys, use that for before a race. Bring that over a bit. And then so, okay, cool. Another comments, yeah, sweet. Let's get this cut made before somebody else is on here. That would be good. Cool beans. We have the tiniest little sliver right there. If I can move this racing a little bit. Oh, that's one way to do it. All right, cool. No other comments, no other people. Go ahead and hide my brokenness before somebody comes back. Got away with it. How much fun. All right. That came out a lot cleaner than the last one. All right, sick. So there's 39 at. No, come up on the next one and do 36 even. So there, folks. Sick. Hello, person. That might be Bran, I'm not sure. Okay. That's pretty cool. Cool. Let's see. So if it fell away, that would be best. Still no people. That's what's up. that'll do it. Stop there while we're ahead. Swap out the battery. All right, let's see. Check the battery. I think well. Very cool. Cool. Fun times. All right. Still got it. That's unfortunate. Got one person. Did you finish 6? So I want to do that. Probably should have nicked that on the backside first. Sick. So there's that. Have a pretty side. Those are pretty rough. No comments at the moment. If anyone is on here that's new, again, not a woodworking person, this is just messing with the lives, kind of get an idea of how they function with our internet. So don't take this as a tutorial. This is certainly not that. Certainly not that. Let's see. So we have our first thing. I think that's rougher, but it's not as textured. I think we'll go that way. That looks the best for internal. Yeah, that's what we'll do. That looks good. Cool. So mark here to here. Make sure everything looks happy and even. Looks good. This is not faced well. It is what it is. So we have to take time. Comments at the moment. Welcome, other people. Appreciate you being around. That looks a little bit short. Okay. That looks better. Let's see if that looks. That looks pretty much perfect. Cool. So we'll mark that for our point of reference. No comments at the moment. No, that's not what I wanted to do. Let's come right down the middle. Well, that was more than I definitely wanted to do. Right there with the little dollop. Right down there with the little dollop. And we'll call that good because I don't want to overdo this. Then we'll take that shop towel and spread this out a little bit. Other comments at the moment. All right, that spread out about where the screws are going to be. Let's take this and spread it. Not good. All right, cool. Comments at the moment. Welcome to the couple of people that are here in addition to earlier. That's cool stuff. If anyone has any questions or comments or randomness, that's more than welcome. Okay, so we'll put this into that little mechanism right here. Feels about right. Oh, is that not square? Close. That's pretty good. I needed to do some shimming. Needed to do some shimming. No comments to move. Sure, we're good on depth. That looks about right. Sure, they're so happy. Makes happy. Put it away. All right. Got that packed in a little bit, huh? I think that went through that knot that was there. I'm gonna drill a separate next to that one. That one, I might still drop a screw in there just for the sake of consistency, but I don't feel very good about that particular set. That felt better. Okay. All right. Well, that's pretty good. Then we'll go to comments at the moment. Sweet. We'll go right here. Where's that on? Sick. Okay. All right. Yeah, I thought so. I hope that doesn't split. Sick. All right. Cool. All right, we have 3 back feet or 3 back legs. Ta-da! Fun things. All right. So how do I want to do the next part? I guess that's the next question, huh? So we have to figure that out. Got 0 folks on here at the moment. And I dropped my water bottle, which is perfect. I come up here and just talk to my camera while there's no one there. Make funny faces. So I don't think there's anyone on here at the moment. So that's good stuff. Now there's someone on here. Hello, someone. All right. Yeah, just my boots out or something. It's getting warm. It's funny. Alaska's funny like that. I don't know if that's. I've got one person on here. It was zero. I don't know if that's brand or not, but Alaska's funny like that, where it'll be like 45 degrees, but like burning hot at the same time. So, and it doesn't matter if you came from a different state. Like that's not just because we live in Alaska. It feels like that. That is something people experience individually, regardless of their acclimation. So, fun times. All right, let's see. Well, there's a bunch of heart reacts coming, so I don't know who's doing that, but I appreciate you very much. I love you too. Does this do anything? I know there's certain like emojis that you can like interact with and it'll do stuff. I don't know if that's just on here, if that's on Facebook, but so I have a large plank of wood that I need to bring in that I don't feel like bringing in because it's going to be a mess. So, hi, it's me. And I thought it was you, just sitting there pounding the heart. I got you're an awesome wife. So yeah, I don't want to do that right now. So maybe I'll cut a the top bracket and then mount that. I'm not really sure at the moment, so don't know. We're gonna do a 2x4 brace on the top of the. So there's people here that I have bad signal here. Haha. Tribe Johnson, how's it going? The Johnsons. I don't know which one of the Johnsons of you that is, of course, because there are many of you, which is excellent. Um, but if it's Obi, you will enjoy the stuff going on right now because it's another Doug. It's another Doug creation out of my head. So I've got three of these. These are 2x4s tied together with screw and glue. And then these are to make up because I don't have enough lumber to do my 3x legs, which is not ideal. So I'm using those two for the front because that's where the majority of the majority of the tension from the vise is going to be applied to the front left as I'm looking at it leg because that's where the vise is going to be. So I have the heavy lumber up front, and then I'm going to probably brace that in on the back end of making the bench. But then on the back side, to kind of counter the table with weight, I have a 2x. So I have the. I'm going to sneeze 1 second. Excuse me. Uh, I have a 2x brace going across the top, and then I have Soraya, but I am here as well. Oh, very cool. So I have a 2x going across the top, and I have a 2x10. I'm not sure. I'm looking at a distance. I can't remember what it was, but I'll have that along the bottom, which is mostly there just for rigidity and extra weight, so that when I'm torquing on the vise, it doesn't want to lift from the rear, if that makes sense. But yeah, so this was the first cut. It was gross. I didn't have the wood well supported, and it kind of fell off and snapped on me. So that is going to go on the inside as it's marked. So hide that shoddiness. But and then I have three of those. And right now I'm taking a break because I don't want to go get that thing. And I haven't decided yet on what dimension I want to do for the back brace because this is all coming out of my head naturally. So we have a almost 6 foot piece of ply that we're using for the top. So it's 6x2. I think it's 9/16 hardwood plywood, but it's like it's like a 16th or so short of 6 foot. And I would rather have a little bit of overhang on the top deck than have the bottom of the table stick out because that would look ugly. So I think I'm gonna design it so that it has about an inch of overhang on. Oh no, having a space for a vise to go in would probably be a good idea. So then I can do. All right, let's see. So I need to have enough room to go in 2.5 inches for this particular vise. So maybe I'll do a 3 inch overhang on either side and then move that vise in from the outside just a touch to make sure I don't have any interference or unsupported wood that I'm vicing on. That might be the deal. Let me know if you think that's a bad idea because you know a lot better than I do. So, but yeah, I think that's what we're gonna do. I think I'll do. So that'll be 6 foot minus 3. So that's gonna be 6 inches. That's how math works. So then it'll be 5.5 feet for that top bracket. So I think that'll work. I don't know if your service is picking up or not. So, but if you heard that, let me know if it's a bad idea before I do it. So we'll go 5.5 feet, unless told otherwise, and then we'll go from there. And welcome to the channel, guys. This is the personal channel. I've enjoyed this a lot more because I had the pneumatic rifleman channel, and I just I didn't like the pneumatic rifleman like branding thing. It felt, I don't know. I guess where I was mentally when I made that channel and where I am now are two different places. I have very similar opinions, but they're grounded on much different ground. So, and the way that I think is best to get there is like substantially different. Um, so I'm not really. I haven't felt good about. I haven't felt good about making a. I haven't felt good about posting on that. So I haven't. With exception to one video that explained why I wasn't on there. So anyway, yeah. So 5.5 foot bracing for the bottom framework on a 6 foot table. I think that's gonna be the plan. Not seeing any counter. Not seeing any counter things. I see a heart. I'll just assume that was not from Brianna, who it definitely was from, and then go forward with that. So, oh, that makes me sad. I'm out of water. Do I have an Alani in here still? Still. That sucks. So. All right. So I guess we'll do that. Probably should do that instead of blabbering at the camera. That's especially that's what I'm supposed to be doing right now. Funnily enough. So let's see, is this that's kind of an ugly piece of wood. Do I have a prettier piece of wood? I do have a prettier piece of wood. I think I'll do that. No more comments? Cool. This is not pretty, but it's not ugly. It does have a natural knot right there. That's two knots. Ew. All right. I'm just kidding. I'm gonna take a break on that then, because I don't want to use shoddy wood. Um. All right. So I guess I'll just interact with this for a little bit until I may have missed the question. LOL. I apologize. I may have missed the question. LOL. I apologize. I didn't quite hear what you were building, but I gather you might be making a table of some sort. That is correct. I am making a bench. So I have. I'm gonna grab the not super bad looking one. So I am making a workbench for the cabin for making rifles. So this is one of 3 back legs I have. I'm tying 2x4s together because I don't have enough of the 4x to do what I'm doing. So I have 3 of these. So one in the back left corner, one in the back right corner, and one for the center. And then I'm going to. So what I'm wondering is when I put this bracing. So this will be a 2x sitting right here, and then that will be running the. So the longest dimension is the wide dimension. So it'll be running lengthwise some distance. So the tabletop is 6 feet. So it'll be 6 feet wide. I'm thinking about doing 5.5. I'm thinking about doing 5.5 feet span for this framework underneath, so that I have overhang on the table that I can use for clamping stuff down. I'm not sure if 3 inches of material on the end is going to be strong enough or not. I think it's 9/16 oak hardwood. I believe that's what it is. So um I feel like 3 inches of that should be pretty adequately strong for anything I'm going to be doing. The maximum torque I should be putting on anything is 80 foot-pounds. And the vise is going to be centered in the table. I shouldn't be like putting a super amount of hard work on the edge of that surface. I don't think so. At least that would be. I feel like that would be weird. So at least for the context of which the work I'm doing in here. So I don't know. I don't know. Woodworking is not my thing. But I figure if there's like obvious flaw in the logic, I think you would know. And I got that 3 inch number because with the with the what do you call it? The clamps I have, I need 2.5 inches of depth to be able to use this. That's the max depth I can do. So I figured 3 inches would give me enough wiggle room to be able to do that. So yeah, that's what I'm thinking. Um, But yeah, it's funny because like I can self-sufficient for what you were doing. Sick. All right. So, oh, and then you can appreciate this. So this is all Doug brain nonsense, but I hit a knot on this one, so I pushed to a second one. So now I have a singular piece of wood that doesn't have 3 screws, that has 4 screws, and that makes me very sad. So, but yeah, so I'm going to be holding one on that though because I don't want to trudge out through the snow to get that piece of 2x I want to use. The piece of 2x4 I have in here is kind of ugly, and I don't want to use it. So I'm probably going to use the ugly 2x4 for framework underneath the table to basically help increase the rigidity underneath. But yeah. So I think that's it for the for the bench for right now. I'll probably kill the live and get the rest of the materials I need from the shed, and then turn them back on because this has been fun to kind of work through and do practice with everything. But yeah. Oh right, I had something I want to show you. I'm not sure if you're still there, but I'll show you the thing I made. How are you supporting the back of the bench? The back of the bench. Oh yeah. So I have a 2 by something. I think it's a 10 that is going to be going ran across the like the bottom to mid section of the legs. Less for strength, more for rigidity and weight. So to keep the table rigid and to provide weight so that so if this is the front of the table where I work and then this is the back of the table, if I'm torquing here, I don't want the back of the table to be wanting to lift. So I have that back there to tie everything together for rigidity, or that I will have that back there for rigidity and weight predominantly. So that's the plan. So if you think that's a good plan, you should tell me. And if you think it's a bad plan, then you should definitely tell me. So I think that's what you're asking. So oh, there's puppies outside. I was like, what was that noise? So puppies. I'm also out of water, which sucks. Hopefully I'm not. Let's see where I'm at. I'm not gonna. Okay, cool. Make sure I don't have anything on the live that's gonna be questionable for YouTube, naturally. So Brandon brought me some sort of liquid, it looks like, which is very exciting. If you're still on here, I'm going to show you something because I'm going to turn my green screen on. So I made a meme. I don't really know if a meme is correct, but I made an image with text for Passover that I shared, and that was pretty cool. It says his suffering for our transgression wasn't metaphorical. Should our walk and our trust in him be metaphorical? So that was fun. Figured I'd share that. Thank you, love. What is this?
Aminos.
Aminos? Cool. I'm gonna be buzzing. Mm. Thank you. You wanna hop on? There's one person here, and is that you? I don't know. I don't think this. Oh, there's 2 people now. So okay, so 3 legs in both front and back. No, so on the front I have.
Hi guys.
Let's see. This is Brianna. She is here. Let's scooch for a second. So I have 4x I'm using for the front 2 legs. I'm gonna have a piece of bracing across the top, I suppose. But I'm gonna have nothing underneath on the front of the table because that's where my legs will be if I'm sitting. So this, I'll have one on either side, and then it'll all be tied together. Oh, they said hi right there. So
Yeah.
it'll be tied around the left, right, and back side. It won't be tied together except for right underneath the table, and then braced in on the front side. So what I'm planning on doing, yeah, I know they're crazy. What I'm planning on doing, especially on the vice side, because on the non-vice side, the work that's going on there is super lightweight. But on the vice side, I'm gonna put some sort of angular bracing in after the fact, basically just to go in there and add extra support. I'll probably tie that in with some sort of metal tie that you know put up and then nail in place or screw in place. That's the plan, at least. Again, it's all coming out of my head, so it may look different than it actually is, than it's being described, because my brain will probably produce a different idea when I actually go to put that bracing in. So there's a straight up dogfight going on outside.
Okay, don't make it sound dramatic.
They're not actually fighting; they're playing. But
It's Mocha and Winston.
Mocha and Winston are going at it. Their tails are wagging. I think they're having fun. No one's yelping yet.
Well, Winston's hair is standing up on his back.
Yeah, I don't know if we can show that. I don't like people might bet or something. Like,
well, you can specify this is not a.
yeah, this is not a gambling activity.
I feel like they would love to see them.
Yeah, that would be fun. It is crazy outside. I've got that nasty piece of cardboard on the front piece though.
Yeah, I had to stop Sam over here at the corner of the cabin
Yeah.
because it starts getting deeper when you come.
Yeah, yeah, it's super deep right there. It's like surprisingly deep. You know what? Screw it. Let's just go do that. That'll be fun. Yeah, we can show everybody the craziness of the yard. Um, I'm sure it'll be great. Although I look forward to seeing the results. Me too. Let's see. So I don't know if I can switch this around. Oh, you sure can. Yeah. So this is our yard right now. So that's fun. And then Mocha Winston. Hey, baby. So that's fun. Puppies and such. And Alaska breakup season. So that is the way that be. Because all this snow melts, but the ground is still frozen and it can't go
And it
anywhere.
goes to the left side of the property.
And yeah, and then so the back, or rather the southeast side of the property is depressed right there, and then it rises right at the edge of the property line. So it basically creates a perfect little pond. And then if you're short, it's particularly come right here. This is crazy. Like this is genuinely insane. Yeah. So yeah, it's pretty fun. It's pretty fun stuff. But yeah,
Puppies have filled out, and
yeah, the puppies have gotten a lot bigger. Mocha, come here.
so I don't want to go in the water.
Yeah, that's fair. That's fair. Yeah, they've gotten huge. But yeah, all right, I'll probably head back inside, get the floor all nice and wet. Okay. Oh, you're still making them?
Huh?
You're still making them?
Yeah. They just got done with the first rise. I got to roll it out and form it into a log and stuff.
Sweet. That's gonna be delicious. All right. I have to be careful about how I position the camera for lives. All right, and I think that will do right there. But yeah, so 90. That is. Yeah, what am I doing up here? Yeah, I don't know. It feels about 50 right now out there, so it's beautiful outside. Because it's like it's that time of year where the snow is all present because of how much there is during the winter, but like if you go to the valley, it's not like that. If you go like into Wasilla, it's not like that. It's the snow is basically gone. But up here, we get so much snow throughout the winter that it takes quite a while for it to actually go away. And then, so like right now, you can go play in the snow, but it's also like 50 degrees and beautiful. So you're outside and like you get hot like this. So it's pretty cool. But yeah, so yeah. So for the rest of this, I'm probably gonna kill this here in a little bit because I've got to go get stuff out of the shed, and I don't want to carry my phone and carry lumber at the same time. That sounds impractical. But I was gonna talk about business stuff on here, updates and such. But this live on its own has been such a learning experience to like figure out how the internet out here supports the live and how the functionality of everything is in here. This is our first time being live on YouTube. So it's really interesting to kind of see how everything's working. And this allows us to be more educated on like what to expect going live if we want to do like an actual thing where we do a reading or do have conversations in this format. Having a way to know what we're getting into beforehand to have it be more structured because we've been on for 134 minutes. So, which is interesting to me that it comes out in straight minutes. It doesn't break it into hours. Um, but yeah, so I don't know if there's anyone else that wants to ask any questions or interact with anything, but hang out for a little bit and then probably get off so I can get that lumber in here and then probably kick it back on. You as well. You as well, for sure. I hope things are going well for you guys down there. Um, so I'm sure it's been quite the adjustment. It's been quite the adjustment for us to be up here and get everything online that we're trying to get online right now. We're in the process of getting our website up, so that's been a much more in-depth process than I expected it to be. But now that I'm seeing it, it makes sense. There's so many things to track in those systems to keep the FFL stuff happy, but it is what it is. So, but yeah, that's so much fun. Let's see. Make sure I haven't missed anything on here. I wish I could react. It's no fun that I can't react to the like. I want to put little hard things on here. Can I comment? I don't know if I can comment. I don't think so. I don't see a button for me to comment on. I have to comment with my mouth. So be careful with that. That was a weird thing. I don't know if there was a lighting shift or maybe I'm just going crazy. Maybe I saw my headlamp. So nothing at the moment. I think you can pause it as well. Can I? I don't think so. There's an exit button. I know I can turn my camera off. I can like cut the stream like that. But it's still going. I think my audio is still good. If you could let me know if my audio is working while I have the camera off. Is that what this button? Okay. So I can kill my camera and my mic. I don't trust that at all. But apparently it shows me that I can, and the icons say they can. I don't know if that actually did it or not. But it won't pause the stream, the live though, because the live will still be building time, and people will still be coming through and being like, "Oh, there's a black screen with nothing on it right here." Um, I might be able to put like interact with comments. I think you're supposed to, because interact with comments should. Yeah, I can put you on timeout in here. That's funny. Um, Chat filter, top message, automatic chat translation. Yeah, no, I don't see any way for me to. So I would have to. I think you would have to to respond to comments as a moderator. So like if someone's saying something crazy, um, then you could like ask them to, reframe and then hide. I think you can hide comments. Yeah, so you can remove comments on here. So if someone was like talking about something super, if someone was asking something super inappropriate or being inappropriate, you could remove the comments, um, and you could even react to their comment, like respond in like a short snippet and then remove it. I don't know if that would still show up on their notifications to like see what you had said or not. Um, we might have to test that theory. Um, so, but I can't actually comment on my side of things to the to it. I can pin stuff here in a little bit. For now, I think I'm gonna hop off of here for a minute so I can get that stuff out of the shed. I'm gonna kill it because this is already over 2 hours long. So I'll put this up on the channel as a random piece of content people can watch if they're bored out of their mind, I suppose. I don't know why someone would watch it, but if they want to, there it is. But more for documenting because this is our first live and I think it's fun to have that stuff up. But yeah, I'm gonna kill this for now and then I'll hop back on here in a few minutes. I love you guys. Shalom.